again, Rich.
Karl Ravech, my compadre from the worldwide leader in sports. Thrilled to have. It's been a long time since I've spoken to Karl here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Karl?
I'm doing great. It's great to talk to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How's your family? Everybody good?
We're all good. Yes, everybody is good. And yours?
No, we're good. 3 of us now. 3 kids with Sue's in the house. We're going nutty. We're going.
Is that a dog? Is that a dog or a child you were talking about wearing a Brady uniform?
We have Hudson the dog. He might go as a Patriot. He has worn a Brady jersey last year actually for Halloween. So
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
So what's going on tonight, Karl? When's this weather supposed to hit for Game 2?
Dodging the raindrops. It's going to rain a little bit early here this afternoon, and then it's kind of going to move away and then come back later tonight. So I think for the first time in a long time, they at least were reactive or proactive, depending on what term you use. They moved the game up an hour, which is something baseball would never do. And given that every game now needs to play to its completion, they were trying to avoid a game in which they were suspended and had to come back on the off day to finish it. I mean, you could have been looking at a 7-1 game in the 7th inning, and rains came, and then you got to come back and finish it, and that would have not felt great. So they're trying their best to avoid it. My sense is, given that they moved it up, they'll probably be able to get it in. If this was the National League city and you had a National League pitcher hitting, it'd probably be a little quicker, but we'll see. Last night's game did drag a little bit for a game that was 3-zip for a long time. So
maybe they should have Francona handle it because he's making all the right moves, right, Karl? I mean, he could...
Everything he does, including dealing with drones, which, as he said the other day, we've all had our own drone injuries, and we know how to deal with them. So he can deal with the weather.
It's unbelievable what he's become, right, as a manager. He's a Hall of Famer. I believe. It really is amazing what he is doing right now. Can you put your finger on what he is doing for this team to be gelling the way it has?
He's a complete goofball. After the Tigers were in the World Series, Curt Schilling, Terry Francona, myself, and a researcher, because a hurricane was moving up the East Coast, decided we're not going to be able to get on an airplane and fly back to the East Coast from Detroit, so we're going to get into a car with Frank the Tank driving us from Detroit to Massachusetts, in Kurt's case, where he lived. And Francona was working with us at the time and interviewing for the Indians head coaching job or manager's job. So as we make this decision following the Tigers World Series loss to the Giants, he said, do you mind dropping me off in Cleveland on your way? And, we're not geographically astute enough to say, is it actually on the way? Sure. We'll take you. Get in the car. So Francona, Schilling, myself, Justin Havens was the researcher's name, and this driver named Frank, who probably thought when he picked us up at 2:30, he was going to take us as far as Ann Arbor, and that would be it. Honest to God, had no idea he was driving across, all those states to Massachusetts. He had no idea. So Francona is along for the ride, and 10 minutes into the ride, this is, again, 3 in the morning now, Schilling and Francona said, we need to stop at a Taco Bell. And I'm not a Taco Bell guy because I didn't think they'd be open. So I said, sure, yeah, that's a really good idea. Lo and behold, first exit off the highway, 24-hour Taco Bell. They load up on Taco Bell, and as we're now back on the highway beginning this 14-hour drive, my left leg is on fire. I say to these idiots, I said, guys, are you hot? Seriously, something's wrong with the car. My leg's on fire. And they start snickering. Oh, no, we're good. If you want some Taco Bell, it's a comfortable ride. Good car, we're in good shape. Another 10 minutes, I said, seriously, something's wrong. My leg it's now burning. I mean, I can see the smoke coming off my pant leg. They then acknowledge that they are controlling the heat vent and now trying to catch my leg on fire. So this is the manager who is going into the Hall of Fame giggling while eating Taco Bell on a ride to Cleveland that he decided to just kind of hop along. As opposed to any other way to get to Cleveland for a job interview, he hops in the back of a black SUV and eats Taco Bell and tries to ignite my leg on fire.
I love that story, Karl. But I guess the ultimate underlying point of it is as this is a guy that just keeps everybody loose in times like this.
Everybody comfortable. Rich, we've had guys. I mean, you looked at yesterday when we had pregame show, and Rajai Davis and other Indians and Cub players are coming up during the pregame show to talk. Never in Yankee land would that have ever happened. These guys have made their players so comfortable, and they really do reflect their manager and their styles. And there's a youth about these two teams that make them impervious to sort of the pressure or this theory that, I'm pitching on Thursday, so I can no longer talk to anybody on Wednesday, and there's a really good chance no one should talk to me on Tuesday. It's a whole different world now, at least with these two guys in charge. And he does make them comfortable. And that whole Mr. Magoo attitude and approach, he knows exactly what he's doing. And he has the trump card in Andrew Miller so far. So he's able to utilize that guy like no one else.
Karl Ravech joining me here from Cleveland here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you think we do see Miller tonight? Because I'm going to break.
I think so. I mean, I think if Rizzo comes up or Schwarber comes up, and Andrew tells him before the game, I'm good to go, which Andrew Miller, barring a drone incident, is going to say I'm good to go. So he's going to be able to pitch. And look, last time Bauer pitched, he went all Julia Child from SNL on us, gushing blood. And they were able to get through it there. And Miller didn't pitch 7 innings that night. So they got arms that work. And I think everybody's got to recognize, the Indians just beat the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, who had 2 very, very powerful offenses. So this is not just Andrew Miller. They've been able to pitch really well. Their ERA in the postseason is like 1.7.
Mm-hmm. So provide a public service here, Karl, and tell Cubs fans why they should just chill and relax after that Game 1 loss.
Well, because there was no Black Cat, and there was no Bartman, and there was no Billy Goat. Although I will acknowledge, yesterday on the way to the ballpark, there was a Billy Goat in the street. Somebody from Cleveland had brought a Billy Goat. Yeah, they brought a Billy Goat outside of a hotel, and apparently it was making the rounds to radio stations. But that was one of those great examples of no curse at all. That guy absolutely beat us. I mean, he was as dominant, Rich. I've not seen, and I've been doing World Series since '95 when you were, ready to come to the leader.
Yes, yes, right.
I've never seen hitters be more confused by what pitch was coming. Akin to football, if you're a linebacker and you're trying to tackle a running back running right at you, he's either going to go right or left, or in a rare case, jump over you, and the hitters had no idea which way the pitch was going to go. I've never seen that. Kluber started the pitch on the same lines to everybody, and at the last minute, it was either going to make a left turn or a right turn, and no one knew what it was going to do. I haven't seen anybody do that before, and this includes Pedro and Schilling and Randy. It was as dominant as a performance as I've seen, and I think that's why, Cub fans should recognize this is one of those old cliche tip your cap type games. Mm-hmm. Now tonight things go sour on them. All of a sudden rains and Anthony Rizzo drops a pop up. Well, then you can start bringing up some of the bad memories, but I wouldn't do it after Game 1.
How excited are you to see a World Series game in Wrigley? Just knowing that place
I'm really
and being
excited.
there.
Look, I thought last night was huge. I figured if somehow the Cubs came in here and beat Kluber, that they would win this in Chicago, and the chances of that are greatly diminished now. But I figured the story ends with them winning a World Series in Chicago, and I thought you had to win Game 1. So, yeah, World Series in Wrigley. We did the opening night 2 years ago, mm-hmm. and this was when the Cubs were starting to feel good about themselves. And Tim Kirkshin and I sat on the set where the McDonald's is across from Wrigley, and it was a zoo. And I said, if they ever win the World Series, no one gets out of here alive. And here we are 2 years later. So we'll see. It'll be great. I mean, the scenes that Fox has enjoyed with those fans behind the set have been unreal. They are so ready for this.
Before I let you go, Karl Ravech, give me your favorite Kilborn story. Late night feel-good edition. You got one?
Gosh.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it had to involve Pooh Richardson, And the truth about Greg Kilborn, and I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but
okay.
I would say 2 weeks after Kilborn started, I went into Steve Anderson, who was then in charge of SportsCenter, mm-hmm. and I said, Steve, I'm good to get off this show. I don't get it. I'm not understanding what he's doing. I'm really not feeling the. Hey, Bruins, Canadians, y'all remember that uncle who would kind of bring you behind the shed and tie your skates for you? Let's go to the action at the Garden. And I didn't get any of it. But it turned out to be a smash success, and being the straight guy with Kilborn was wonderful. And I think you understand too. He was one of the funniest people who ever did that show.
Yeah,
I miss him.
Yeah, me too. After I did one of my first Sports Centers, Carl, like in '96, and he was doing the late night feel good, maybe with you, and I came up from downstairs. I did like a half hour, 11 for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Right.
But he looks at me, he goes, "That's a good show, Spark. Reminds me a lot of what I do." That's what he said to me. It actually happened.
He was big into the Sparks. He was big into Craig Kilborn, and he was big into Sports Center. He was a good guy, but I honestly, after 2 weeks, said, I got to pull the ripcord on this. I don't get any of it.
Carl, great chatting with you. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Just attitude. All right, Rich.
You bet. Thanks, Carl. That's Karl Ravech.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.